It was a warm evening in downtown Arlington. The bustling streets were alive with chatter and energy as people darted in and out of cafes and shops. Alex Carter, a decorated Navy SEAL on leave, strolled down the sidewalk in a simple gray t-shirt, well-fitted jeans, and sneakers. A leather messenger bag hung from his shoulder as he made his way to a local bookstore to pick up a novel he'd been eager to read. For the first time in months, his mind felt relaxed. Just as Alex crossed an intersection, the unmistakable sound of screeching tires pierced the air. A police car pulled up abruptly, its lights flashing but siren silent. A white police officer, Officer Richards, stepped out with deliberate slowness, his sharp blue eyes locking onto Alex like a hawk sizing up its prey. "Hey, you!" Richards barked, his voice cutting through the ambient noise. Alex paused mid-step, turning his head to meet the officer's gaze. "You seem to be in a hurry. Mind telling me where you're headed?" The question hung in the air, sharp and accusatory. A few pedestrians slowed their pace, sensing tension, while others moved on, seemingly used to moments like this. Alex tilted his head slightly, his expression unreadable. "Just heading to the bookstore," he replied evenly. Richards folded his arms, a smirk curling at his lips. "Bookstore? Huh. What's in the bag? Anything I should know about?" The implication was clear. Alex felt the weight of the stares around him, the itch of prejudice behind the officer's words. But instead of anger or frustration, something else flickered in Alex's eyes, quiet confidence. "You want to check?" Alex asked, his voice steady, almost challenging. Richard's posture stiffened, clearly not expecting that response. "I'll be the one asking questions," he snapped. His hand hovered near his utility belt as tension thickened. A small crowd began to gather. Their curiosity piqued. Phones discreetly emerged from pockets, their lenses trained on the unfolding scene. Alex shifted his weight slightly, still relaxed. "All right, officer. Let's do this the right way." Richards took a step closer, his boots clicking against the pavement. "Drop the bag," he demanded, his tone harsher now, as if raising his voice might mask his growing uncertainty. Alex remained still, his expression calm. "Sure," he said after a moment, carefully removing the bag from his shoulder and holding it out. His calmness wasn't submission, it was strategy. As Richards grabbed the bag, Alex's steady gaze didn't waver. There was no fear in his dark eyes, only a quiet power that unsettled the officer further. "Hands behind your back," Richards barked, reaching for the cuffs on his belt. Alex raised an eyebrow. "Am I under arrest?" he asked, his voice unyielding. "You're being detained." Richards shot back. "You fit the description of someone we're looking for." The absurdity of the statement hung in the air like a bad joke. A woman holding her phone muttered, "Here we go again." Alex gave a slow nod, his lips curving into a faint smile. "All right, Officer Richards. Let me help you out," he said, stepping closer but keeping his movements deliberate. Richards stiffened, his hand hovering near his holstered weapon. "Stay right there." Alex stopped, raising his hands slightly. "Relax. I'm just giving you my ID." Slowly, he reached into his back pocket and pulled out a sleek card holder. From it, he extracted his military ID and handed it over. Richards hesitated, glancing at the card. His smirk faltered as he scanned the name, rank, and the words United States Navy SEAL etched onto the ID. "Still think I fit the description?" Alex asked, his tone edged with subtle amusement. The crowd, sensing the shift, leaned in closer, phones openly recorded now, capturing every moment. Richards clenched his jaw, tossing the ID back to Alex. "This doesn't mean you're above suspicion," he muttered. "Stay put while I check your bag." Alex crossed his arms, a small smile playing on his lips. "Go ahead," he said, gesturing toward the bag. "Make sure to show everyone what you find." Richards unzipped the bag and began rummaging through its contents. The contents were tidy, arranged with military precision. A neatly folded book, a stainless steel water bottle, and a sleek black laptop. Richards pulled out the book and held it up like it was evidence. "What's this?" he demanded. The title, Leadership Under Pressure, A SEAL's Guide to Resilience and Excellence, was emblazoned across the cover. That's a book I wrote, Alex said evenly, the faintest trace of amusement in his voice. Richards blinked, momentarily thrown off. You wrote this? That's what I said. Want me to autograph it for you? Alex replied, tilting his head slightly. A ripple of laughter ran through the crowd. Richard's face flushed red as he shoved the book back into the bag. Cut the attitude, he snapped, his tone defensive. Hey, you're the one making a scene, Alex said calmly. I'm just trying to go about my day. Richards continued rifling through the bag, pulling out the laptop and a small leather-bound journal. Flipping through its pages, he found neatly written entries detailing Alex's thoughts and experiences from deployments overseas. One entry caught his eye. You don't fight for recognition. You fight because it's the right thing to do. Leadership isn't about power. It's about service. Richards froze for a moment, the words resonating on some level. The crowd, meanwhile, grew restless. Anything illegal in there, officer? Alex asked, his tone polite but laced with quiet challenge. Richards slammed the journal shut and shoved it back into the bag. You're free to go, he barked, stepping back as if trying to regain authority. Alex didn't move. Instead, he crossed his arms. Not so fast, he said, his voice low but commanding. You stopped me, accused me of fitting a description, rifled through my belongings in front of all these people. I think we're owed an explanation. The crowd erupted in agreement, voices calling out, yeah, what's the reason? Phones pointed directly at Richards, their owners waiting for his next move. Richards shifted uncomfortably, his earlier bravado slipping. The silence between him and Alex stretched out like a challenge. What's this description I supposedly fit? Alex asked, his voice cutting through the murmurs. Richards opened his mouth, but no words came out. The truth was glaringly obvious. There had never been a description, just an excuse. Alex's tone sharpened. Let me guess. Black man walking down the street minding his own business? That about sums it up, doesn't it? The crowd gasped. A woman called out, say it plainly. Richard's jaw clenched. Alex stepped closer, his presence commanding. You thought you could intimidate me, maybe even escalate this into something worse. But you didn't expect me to stay calm, did you? Alex said, his voice steady but piercing. You didn't expect me to be a Navy SEAL. You didn't expect me to see through your game. The crowd cheered softly, their support palpable. Alex turned to address them directly. This isn't just about me. It's about the countless times this happens to people who don't have a camera watching, who don't have the training to push back. This isn't justice. It's harassment, and it needs to stop. The crowd applauded, their voices rising in solidarity. Richards, now visibly rattled, muttered, I was just doing my job. Alex's gaze didn't waver. If this is how you define your job, maybe you're not cut out for it. The words hit Richards like a slap. The crowd roared, chanting, accountability. Phones captured every moment as Alex turned back to Richards one last time. You've got a choice now, Alex said, his voice low but powerful. You can keep walking this path, or you can change. But if you stay the same, know this, people like me won't let you get away with it anymore. The crowd erupted once more, their cheers filling the air as Alex walked away, his head held high. Across the street, he paused, watching the scene unfold with quiet satisfaction. This wasn't just a moment of personal vindication. It was the spark of something much larger, a call for justice and accountability that could no longer be ignored.